Oh, not a problem. Oh, hello. No, I think we've gone live.
Sorry.
Hello, everyone. It's me. How are you? Welcome to How to Come Out on Top. Now, I'm giving you a little preview of what's to come. See that ugly mug there? Ha! That's a little taster of what's to come. Welcome to How to Come Out on Top. What the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to do next, and other unanswerable questions. How are you? Let me know if you can hear me, if everything's good. Did you like that? Now, you might wonder what's happening with this. This is because of my makeup artist. Oh yeah, I got Did for my guest today. Can I introduce you? She's going to kill me. Come here. This is Jess.
Hi, everyone.
Just did this to my face. What do you think? Glammed up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thought I'd just, turn it up today for you. So, if you've been watching this fabulous series, season 2, episode 8, Shakalakas, yes, it is. If you've been watching this, you'll know we've been doing this for 18 weeks. Season 2 we're in. We are here to connect you, bring you together, and give you the best in advice when it comes to the industry. And I'm talking the telly industry, people, the telly industry. And content creation, which means radio and anybody that's involved in the creative arts. So thank you for joining. Spring has sprung, my friends. In Straya, anyway. It's gorgeous, it's lovely, and I hope you're happy where you are. What's been going on? What's been blowing your hair back? What floats your boat? Have you been taking care of yourself? We have been in the middle of a massive change. And it's been a good time to learn, reflect, grow, and as we say, upskill. We've been upskilling. And I've had some really interesting chats with people this week, with Bloomtime Media mentors, with mentees and clients. And what I'm finding really interesting is that this pandemic has created a perfect breeding ground for the dreaded imposter syndrome. Do you get that? I certainly do, and I don't know anyone who doesn't. If they do, they're lying. If they do, they're an imposter. It's that unwanted side effect of what we do. And it is horrific. And it's the horror of feeling like you don't deserve to be where you are and you don't have the skills and it's all a farce. It's just one of those things that we have as creatives. And it's a loop. And it's time to break that loop. That voice, that loud voice of doubt needs to be eliminated. Now's the time to grasp what you do well, and maximize it. Because it's just a symptom of an uncontrollable situation. Don't forget, be outstanding and stand out. All good. Right, pep talk done. Now, what we've been doing over the past few weeks is talking to some fabulous people who are creatives in the industry. They're industry leaders. And we've been talking about how to pivot in these uncertain times, and how to stay positive, because there's enough negative news out there for a lifetime. This is a happy half hour. Net connection. We're back. Technology. If you could see my internet wire and how it's connected with this, you'll know why we might be cutting out today. But stay with us, because I can fix it by just sticking it back together again. All right. Anyway, I haven't introduced myself. My name, if you don't know me, is Yana Groves. I am an ex-BBC radio presenter. I'm a trainer, a mentor, a producer of unscripted content. And I'm also a very keen native bird watcher. Speaking of birds, today we meet a celebrated chef, a restaurateur who cooks with every part of the bird. Well, he's known for his nose to tail approach, or beak to tail, if you like. We are going to be talking about why the term celebrity chef is the devil's work, where the hell the N in restaurateur went, and mastering that winning mouthfeel. Speaking of mouthfeel, look at the size of my lips. Yeah, that's what makeup does, okay? Don't worry, nothing's been done to them. It's just the effect. What do you think? It's good? Anyway, mouthfeel. Just keep that in your mind. All right. Look, that will be with Colin Fassnage. I can't wait to talk to him. He's on the line. He's waiting. Stand by for that. Meanwhile, let me give you some breaking news. Now, a lot of people tune into this live chat for industry updates. So I'm just going to give you a couple. I can only give you bits and bobs about Australia. If you have any updates on where you are, send them through. Let us know. We've got to help each other in these times. So I don't know if you've heard, but Stan, Australian streaming service, aims to grow its annual originals, from 6 to 30 a year. So that's 30 new shows you could be involved in. So it's good news for Aussie creatives. Jobs. I hope you've been applying. A lot of my friends and a lot of you out there have now got gigs. In fact, you might have finished your first gigs post-COVID, or during COVID. And I'm hearing some awesome stories of how productions are coping with this crazy time. And there's some excellent content too. So out of it is coming good stuff. ITV Studios are looking for a senior casting producer. Blink Productions in Sydney are looking for a series producer and a researcher. Hi, Blink Productions. I'm here if you need me. Series producer. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not joking. But no, I'm not joking. Eureka Productions are looking for a production assistant. And all of you who have completed the Bloomtime Media courses, get your CV in. They'll be waiting for you. Screen Australia are looking for coordinators and managers, production managers. Also, shooter APs for Fremantle. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this 25 times or not, but we held our first shooter producer course. It was a massive success. Andre Evis, the DOP, was the guy on the tools. He brought 3 cameras. We talked about framing. We talked about lighting. We talked about sound. We talked about how to create content whilst shooting. This is the new normal for producers. You have to multitask and you have to be skilled. So I will be announcing very soon the next shooter producer course, which I hope to see you on. Now, who have we met so far on how to come out on top? I'm going to do the list. Can I have a drum roll, please? Ooh, ooh. Executive producer, Virginia Hodgson. Network executive turned software CEO of Lumi Media, Karen Dewey. Actor, host, TV comedian, founder of Sweary Canary, Christy Best. Co-founder of Media Mentors Australia, Denise Erickson. Modern media moguls, founders of Trending Media Australia, Jesse and Aaron. By the way, this evening we go live. I might be hosting a little event for Trending Media Australia. Check it out, 7 o'clock tonight. Hence why the face. See? Why the long face? Why the pluffy lips? Got an event. It's also for you, of course. We had a TV host and martial artist, SBS's Pop Asia, Andy Trier, phenomenal host, and Australia's most loved TV personality. Oh, there's another one coming up, don't worry. And also host of every batchy show that Australia's ever tasted. It was Osher Ginsberg. And he was amazing in lockdown, talking to us and answering the door while we were live. And I love that about a live broadcast. You never know what's going to happen. Speaking of You Never Know What's Going to Happen. It's time to welcome our very special guest, a man who loves noses and tails. He's a chef and a celebrity. Please welcome Colin Fastnage.
I feel a bit underdressed, so I put on my Ducati top for a bit of style.
You're
Sitting in my
such a
garden.
show off. You're such a show off.
No, I'm just cold. What's that?
Do you have one?
I've got a few.
So COVID times are treating you well then?
I'm sort of a glass half full sort of person. I'll just a little move over this side as you warned me. I'm sort of a glass half full sort of person. Like, I think there was 2 days. I had 2 dark days in the whole of COVID where I was like in a hole, and I got myself out because I'm pretty lucky like that. And so I'm all right. Like, there's a lot worse out there than me. Put it that way.
Look, I just want to say how elated I am to have you on the show. I have been talking about you.
Somebody dropped out, so you got me.
I've been, as we call it in the biz, trailing you and teasing you for weeks, Colin Fastnage.
Yeah, you got to get me in the mood.
Yeah, now you're in the mood, right? You want a bit of yamness.
Yeah, it's good. I like this in the garden. This is going to be my new rider, I reckon, for every interview. Do it in the garden.
Well, it's perfect. And we're not used to seeing you in gardens. Well, unless it's an outdoor challenge.
Oh, please.
Let me just explain to everybody. Colin and I worked on the infamous and famous MKR for a couple of seasons. And boy, we toured the country.
We had fun. That's when MKR was good.
It's still good, Colin. Don't do that.
It's
Don't
dead.
be like that. Don't be like that.
Right.
It was great, and I absolutely loved working with you, Colin. And I think we actually worked together when your MKR journey first began. How was it for you stepping into that role?
Well, it's sort of a mixed bag, actually. Like, it's great. Like, it was paying my mortgage for a while. Well, I still worked at it. I love MKR. I love doing it, and I did 3 years of MasterChef before that. Like, I love the crew, I love the buzz. I never took it for granted. I every year I would sit at the end of that table and go, like, what a cool job, because I know the other side of the world in Chefland that it's a really hard job. And I'm 47 now, so closer to 50 than 40. And if you haven't sort of made it in restaurant land by then, it's a very hard life. So I never took it for granted, and I loved it. And the crew was very much like a kitchen brigade, like the soundos, the camos, the producers. It's a good click, and that's what I'm missing in COVID, because we would have been filming now, but COVID's on.
It's crazy to think that everything stopped.
Yeah.
And I have to also say, I'm very nostalgic for those days of being able to be in the presence of chefs like yourself, and also guest chefs, and watching home chefs give their all in the kitchen.
Like, I mean, MKR took a lot of grief. It does. It's, they used to call it the poor MasterChef cousin or whatever. But I mean, some of the people that came out of it, and have gone on to do stuff, there is some great stuff gone on and being done after it. And I was like, obviously, you get the people who want to be there to be famous, the idiots. They're the ones just annoyed me in the morning. I flicked them off straight away. That's why I was grumpy all the time, because I'm dealing with idiots.
It's just because of that, Colin. Nothing.
No,
to
but
grumpiness.
There's also a thing called the editor. So the 10 nice things I'd say, they'd put in the bad one because they needed the bad guy, the bad cop. But anyway,
are you sure?
What's that?
Because I was there on set.
Yeah. They were the days when the filming used to run into 4 a.m. Do you remember those days?
Yes.
Before they changed the laws and you get sued. Now we've been having this dessert at 4 a.m. and you're not very happy. Funny that.
Yes, this is disgusting.
I'm having a really bad dessert at 4 a.m. and there's no alcohol.
Nobody wants that. But I think what a show like that really does is it pushes you to your limit when you're working on a show like that, but it
Yeah.
also brings together teams. Your team becomes your family.
Yeah.
You know,
I had an absolute, like, I was just saying to someone, like, I really miss it this year, like, because we all can't get together. But I had a ball. And, like, I sort of went into, like, as I said, I'm 47. If I was 27, I would have believed everything everyone tells me in TV. You know what I mean? Because they tell you a lot of stuff, but behind your back, they're like, so I knew at 47 that someday you will be the guy who's not on TV again. You know the guy you see at the supermarket who used to be on TV? I was like, that will be me someday. So enjoy every minute of it. And I love it. I think it's a great job.
well, I would actually say that you have a beautiful face for radio.
Just not a voice.
No, I loved seeing the growth and you getting into your rhythm as literally one of the best celebrity chefs, which we'll get to in a minute. One of the best chef hosts
Yeah, that's great.
in Australia and the world, because you did draw a lot of attention back in Ireland as well, didn't you?
Oh, I'm big in Japan. Yeah. No, in Ireland, and I've just finished. We did 2 years ago with Channel 7, my restaurant rules, which is in New Zealand. So I was doing MKR, that one, and then something else for 7. Like, I was never home. And then they've just started showing that in Ireland now. So they're showing MKR on 2 channels and my restaurant rules. Like, I'm the biggest thing in Ireland ever. And I can't even get there. I'm no one here, but in Ireland, I'm big.
And there you are going, oh, my time in the limelight's done, darling.
No, it's not done.
That's good. And I think it must be hard as a presenter and a host in times like this when you are no longer on screen. And that's really tricky.
Yeah, I reckon, there was a week where I had a panic. Like, I'm like, everything's okay. We're all good. Jobs are going to come through the door. And then, like, our restaurant's closed. Our MKR stopped. So I lost 3 jobs in a week. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, I've never been unemployed in my life. And I was like, I've just lost 3 jobs in a week. And there's no one knew what was going to happen. And I was good. And then I think there was a week where I panicked and was like, how am I going to, like, because I've got kids, how am I going to pay for the mortgage and kids' school fees? And then there was a week, and I actually had a meeting with Ricky Proust, Mr. Ricky Proust, the famous Ricky Proust. And he was really good. Because I was panicking a bit, and he was just like, mate, we're in a pandemic. You just got to stay relevant, keep doing stuff. And it sort of calmed me down a bit. So that was good. Big ups to Ricky.
Well, I think, yes, absolutely big ups to Ricky. Ricky Proust is one of the best, who has actually been invited onto this show, I'll let you know. But you know what? There are just some people who they like to be behind the scenes.
He has a face for radio, but the South African accents would never make it on radio.
You're never going to work in this town again.
Probably not.
But speaking of work, now, let me just go back to this celebrity chef. Why don't you like being called celebrity chef?
Because I'm my own worst enemy. So growing up, I'm sort of a chef. Like, I work hard, I go hard. I'm talking food wise. We do put in the effort. I was known as the angry chef. I've won every award, like 2 hats in every restaurant I've had. We've been in the top 10 in Australia, and I used to scoff at TV chefs. So I was like, those guys, like, it's they're not real chefs. They're on TV, and so. I'd sort of won everything I could, and then Ricky approached me to do this job, and he's like, you'll be a celebrity chef. And I said, I'll never be a celebrity chef. And his ploy was, because he knew me and Manu didn't get on at the time. So many years ago, me and Manu had a fallout at a late night venue. And we had this rivalry.
Ladies of the night also? No,
it's just men. We had a rivalry, and to Ricky's, like, that's how clever and horrible of a man he is. He hired me without telling Manu. And then I had to go on set and sort of deal with Manu, and we weren't friends. And I was like, oh my God, this is one of the most awkward. And to Manu's credit, he took the high road and was like, if there's any, you're in my kitchen now, which is the studio. If there's anything you ever need, you come ask me. And I remember at the end of season 1, I went into Manu's dressing room and I apologized for being a knob. And then ever since then, we've been thick as thieves. I actually spoke to him this morning.
That's amazing. That, you know what? You heard it here first, folks. Exclusives right here on how to come out on top. I love that. And you know what? It was a very strange experience because I could see and I knew, and you and I had lots of chats because I was one of your producers, and we had lots of chats about how that was going to feel for you going into the environment. But I'm so impressed.
Yeah. I grew up, I think. You have to grow up. But as chefs and our industry, and to get to the level that we were at, you have to fight for everything, like tooth and nail. And the problem was you never stop fighting. And then one day you have to realize you have to stop fighting. It's like in TV industry. You know what I mean? Not everyone's out to get you. And sometimes you just have to just go with the flow. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also some people are out to get you. So you've got to be aware of that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm as I said, I'm old enough, I'm comfortable enough in my skin that, you know, I don't worry about what my hair looks like. That used to be a huge thing, Colin's hair, and I don't worry about I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm bad at, and I'm comfortable at what I do now, so it's all right.
Well, this is what I love about you and where you're at. You are a celebrated restaurateur, and there isn't an N in the spelling of restaurateur, and please look it up. It's very interesting. Anyway, I know, but I love that you're still running businesses. You've still got your restaurants. You've written a book. You've got 2 books.
Next book's
Tell
out
us what
at
else
the end.
you're doing in the world.
It's out in a few weeks. It's called The Common Sense Cook, and it's much better than my first because it's all the food I cook at home. So anyone can do it. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I love it because that is something fabulous about you. And I hope that people watching understand that being next to you when you're tasting something or chopping something up or helping somebody in the kitchen, that's when your true soul comes alive. I've seen it and it's amazing to behold.
Yeah, well, I started cooking when I was 17, and I've worked like for Raymond Blanc, Gordon Ramsay. I've done the hard yards, and it was love before I went to work for these great guys, the love of food, and then you lose the love of food and you learn like a military operation about food, and then as you get older, you fall back in love with food. So food to me is my life. It's something that brings me joy. It's something that is a business. So it's basically one of the major parts of my life. So when we were doing food, obviously on the show, it was very serious to me. And people who sort of took the piss, I didn't really have time for.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody's taking the piss now because look where you are. And your Sydney restaurant, how are they going in this horrible time?
Well, like the whole of Australia, when the pandemic hits, we were going to do the best takeaway in Australia, because everyone was going to do. But then the owner of the building said, "Oh, well, I'm closing the building and turning off the freezers, the fridges, and locking the doors so you can't get in because it's more expensive to run the business." So we were like, "Oh my God, we can't even do takeaway. We've been locked out." And then our workers, because there was no job keeper then, so basically we closed the doors and went home. And I was like, what do we do? So I just, opened the whiskey and jumped into the whiskey bottle. But I mean, all our workers all the food in the restaurants we gave away. So I started a soup kitchen out of my restaurant outside on the path because I couldn't get in. And I used someone else's fridge just to keep myself busy and maybe sort of keep my mind in the zone. I closed down 2 businesses and fed the poor with everything that was left over from my restaurant. And I fed all the work. And then the job keeper came about. So I fed all the workers who didn't have job keeper. And I still do it every Monday. It's now I can't stop because it's a really good thing to do. And then when we did eventually open up again, there was a huge burst, an influx of customers for a month. And now Sydney's gone very quiet. So Banksia ticks along. It ticks along nicely. It does okay. And Terminus, my other one in Piermont, is dead because no one's back to work in the offices. So, you know, it is what it is.
It is a strange experience to go into restaurants or to even just to walk. I have an office in Piermont, and just to be in that space feels eerie. It's just a little bit eerie at the moment.
Things will never be the same after this, especially in restaurants. And you know, and I think the thing was, though, what I've been talking to my wife about was I had got so comfortable in MKR and restaurant land that I was actually bored out of my mind.
Right.
I wasn't happy. I was like, every July we'll start MKR. Then we go into the Christmas rush in the restaurant. We have a break and thing. Then we start again. And it was Groundhog Day for 10 years. And I needed something to happen to sort of spur me back into action. Little did I know it was a pandemic.
Right.
But I need my back to be against the wall, and the best comes out of me then. It's and like we've done a lot of stuff. Like, we've been very proactive, as is everybody. You have to be. You don't know what's inside you till you're actually, you know, you get that cold sweat and panic, and there's people dependent on you.
Yeah, until you really have to question where the next meal is coming from, how you're going to pay your bills and keep a roof over your head. It's happening to so many people right now. And, you know, Colin, this is why we started this live chat, because I knew there would be so many creatives out there, and I know they're still out there wondering what to do next, and it's bloody terrifying. Yeah,
well, there was a night of panic where I looked at my kids and my missus, and I was like, I've got no job. For the first time in 47 years, I've got no job. And I don't really know how to process this. And obviously, I process it by drinking too much, which a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And then when we finally get our stuff back together again, and said, all right, we need to deal with it, because everyone in the country is dealing with it, and you know, we're all in the same boat, as they say. So we started an online cookery class where you buy a ticket to the event, so a ticketed Zoom event. And we will deliver, if you're in Sydney doing it, we'll deliver the produce to your house, and it's all part of the ticket price. And then so if you're in Melbourne, there was people in Ireland doing it. There was people in Norway doing it. So still are. So when you tune in at 5 o'clock on a Friday evening, I would have the exact same produce with the exact same card, and we would all cook along. And a little bit like this, except we just mute everybody. You can type in and ask questions, and we would stop and talk and dush. And we would go through like basic how to get pork crackling, blah, blah, blah. And just stuff that people really wanted to know, and how to cook a meal for a dinner party. And at one stage, we had 250 people going at once on a Friday night.
That sounds like absolute heaven to me. And speaking of that pork crackling, I think I might have gleaned a few tips from you over the years.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's only cooking. But I mean, that was the height of the pandemic, and everyone's like luring it into them on a Friday night. Even I was, and it was fun. And that only started as a little project, and that spawned into a business now. And it's actually maybe a TV thing, but we'll talk about that another time.
Don't tell anyone.
No, we're doing a little pilot tomorrow.
We only have 10 million viewers on this channel, just so you know.
That's good. And then we started dining at home for 10 people. So you can't have your birthday party or wedding, your dish. So we'll come to your house with a chef and waiters, and now that has gone through the roof. So
are you coming to my house?
Yeah, you got to pay.
Obviously.
No, and that was just because you couldn't use a restaurant. So how do you use your skills and your knowledge? And then we went to someone's house, and it was like, I can't be at all of them. So, but it was a bit like some people open the door.
Hold the phone. You can't be at all the houses. So what's the discount if there's
It's cheaper if I'm not there. Put it that way. But it's funny when people open the front door and they're like, oh shit, oh my God, it's the guy off the TV. How did you get into my hallway? And you're like, mate, just calm down. Like,
do they touch your face? Like, you're like, please don't touch my face. Have you sanitized?
The sort of my demographic, which is the blue rinse, old ladies love to touch my hair.
Love you. I've seen it. I have seen it. You've done pop-up restaurants as challenges on MKR, and I have seen that blue rinse brigade.
Right.
Literally.
Cash is cash. I don't care.
Leggings off. I was going to say something else, but Let's go with leggings off.
Yeah, no.
You have that effect on the young one.
On the old.
Anyway, speaking of leggings off, we've got some amazing little. I just wanted to flag some beautiful comments that are coming in. Oh, look, you see, hi Tara. Nice to know that you're here. This is Tara, our production assistant. Thank you so much. Hey, it's Aaron from Trending Media Australia, who is also saying our studio launch show is on tomorrow. So I'm going to have to get did again tomorrow. So everybody tune in to Facebook live from 7 p.m. AEST. AEST means Sydney. Tune in, do it. And we've got some fans of yours watching. Oh my God, people are so excited.
Are they parents?
Here we go. So Dee is saying, my kids always loved Colin and MKR.
See?
They still say till this day, well done with your accent.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're going to have to say well done to them.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Push on. You've been eliminated.
Have you tasted it?
Yeah, taste it.
There
Imagine.
you go. Taste it. And we also have messages. Oh my God, there's so many. Hey. Best on-air talent in the country, says Nicole Anthony.
You need to get out more, Nicole.
Nicole has spent many an hour staring at your face in the edit suite. Moving on. Oh, Lord, we've got somebody in Perth saying hi. Hi, Alicia. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Per. I was meant to be doing a job there next week and I can't get over.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Jackie Miller, I'm nearly blue rinse. Oh, you really, Jackie? Because I think actually, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of a purple hue. I think it's a really good. Would you agree? Sorry, I'm asking Jess here, our hair and makeup artist. Yes, it's the way forward. I think you look good with a blue rinse, Colin. It might be next to you.
Salt and pepper. I've already got it. Salt and pepper.
And also, there's a lovely message from Robin from Victor Harbour. Hi, Robin. Robbie Bob. Robbie, have you got a blue rinse? I think you might. See, you've started something now. You've started literally as a fashion guru. You're going to start this. They're going to bring back the blue rinse. I love it.
That's good because it's more fans for me because that's my demo.
Well, I'm a fan of yours and there ain't no blue here. I'm close to, in age, 100%. Totally.
Yeah.
Inside is a blue rinse dying to get out. Lillian is saying, hi from Ireland. Ireland in the house.
Go on, Ireland. How's the weather?
Yay. I love it. Makes me so happy. You know what? This time's gone so quickly, but I feel like we're having such a nice time. Can you do another 5 minutes with us?
Yeah, I'd rather deal with the kids. So, also I'd rather stay in the garden.
Your kids are the most delicious humans on the planet.
Sometimes.
And actually, you've become like a showbiz mom. You've turned into a showbiz mom, and you've put them on screen, haven't you?
Well, it started as, we're bored, let's play around with a camera. And it's actually the best thing that come out of it because my youngest daughter was very shy. That's the one who's like Miss TV now. Good. And she came out of her shell and would have post-it notes when we did the videos. And I was like, wow, she's clicked on. The older one sort of lost, she didn't really get into it. So the younger one actually came to me and says, maybe we should fire her. It's just me and you do it. And I was like, well, whatever works. And then in saying that, the week I lost the 3 jobs, Coles hired my kids to do those ads. So they were the only ones getting paid in our house at one stage.
Talk about putting pressure on the younger generation.
Oh, they're far better with pressure. And when I go to the supermarket now with them, people stop and go, Lily and Maeve. And they just brush me aside. Like, I don't exist. MKR never even happened.
You've created monsters. But how could they be monsters? Guys, please, where can people see this show? Because I have to say, I've seen them in action. I've met them. They are the most delightful children, talented, witty, and they love their daddy and mummy. They're just so cute.
Yeah. They've actually been hired to do all the Good Food and Wine shows next year as the Lily and Maeve show. Like, give me a break.
What? Yeah. You know what? You need to step aside, Papa.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just get fat and just like be counting.
Now, what are you like producing them? Are you like, stop doing that? Don't touch. Show the camera. Do your hair. Well, what do you like?
Oh no, I learned pretty quick. when I lose my rag, like the older one, when she's gone, you can't get her back.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like, you know, and especially when we were doing it for fun, not a problem. But I remember the first paid gig we got, like Coles are like, we want to pay you for this amount of ads. And I'm like, result. And my oldest is like, I'm not doing it. I'm not coming out. And I was like, yes, you are, because we're getting paid and we got bills. And then so on, I blew up and I couldn't. So
You
now I
can't
know.
do that.
It's like, what is it? Hold on.
You can't do that. You can't. You just.
It's like,
sure there are
don't
laws
work with animals and kids. That's what they say.
Who's that?
That's Bran. That's Bran, an Irish dog. And then I'll show you.
Didn't you
I'll
have?
show you.
Isn't there also Sally?
That's
Hi, Sally.
that's Ellie. Ellie,
Oh, Ellie.
they're my real kids.
Oh, they're so gorgeous. Your fur babies. I think the next thing is really to get the dogs doing the cooking.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Someone has to.
Someone's got to.
No, but that was a positive to come out of it. Of, you know, the kid. Like, I'm not saying about the monetary, but just to see my youngest daughter sort of find her feet and actually go, she's really good at it. Like she's better than me at it, which is not hard.
Oh.
But I mean, I was like, wow.
I think it's really lovely. And this all came out of COVID.
Yeah, like, you know, what I loved about COVID was when I'd go, like, I spend a lot of time with my kids. I made, even before COVID, like when I had kids, my business got better because I had kids.
Right.
I was an actual demon in work. I just worked 16 hours a day in kitchens and was just not a nice person. Some people would say still the same, but anyway. But when I had my first daughter, I took a step back, and my business did better when I stepped back and didn't micromanage and let other people manage my business. And I sort of dealt with my kids, and now I spend every night with my kids. Like, I don't see the point in having kids and never seeing them again. Yeah. And the business is better for me being relaxed and happy, and my mind is better because now I've got like 50,000 things going on. But what I liked about COVID, getting back to my story, was I'd go around the field and see fathers I've never seen teaching their kids how to ride bikes. And that was multiplied by 50. The whole field was full of fathers and kids. And I was like, wow, what a great positive thing to come out of COVID.
So good. It's so good. And to see you thriving, I knew you would. We spoke early on when it first happened.
Yeah.
I don't think we were both like, oh, shit.
I think I was just drunk.
Well, who wasn't?
Yeah.
I think there are enough people. I mean, there are people everywhere still going through the tough times, and I think you're a great example of how to take what you've got and, you know, make lemonade.
In saying that, there is you can make lemonade, but like what I've seen from doing our soup kitchen on a Monday. Man, there's some bad stories out there of like there's families of dads who used to work, say, for Qantas or whoever, who park their car and come to me with their kids to get free food. And I'm like, what does it take for someone who was like last week on top of the world, like we all were, to next week taking food from me from the back of my car on a table in the soup kitchen? So we make a laugh and a joke about it. Hey, come on in, we've got too much. Come on, hey kids, you know. But I'm like, I think I'm having a bad day, but like I usually have a bad day on a Monday night when I come back from that because the stories sort of affect you a bit. But I see that and I go, fuck, you're not having a bad day. Like if you're these people, some people are like on the breadline with kids, and I think that's the wake up call, and that's what sort of got me through all this. Like we're not doing too bad. Like we're monetary, we're all in the bin, but I mean. We don't have to go home to that where you have to accept, which is not bad to accept. And I'm saying it's not bad to accept food from someone else, but I mean, it takes a lot to do that. Like that has to take a little bit of your soul.
And it's all relative. If, you know, I think, oh God, people are falling from great heights, and people who didn't have the heights are also falling. So that's something quite connective in this time. we are so truly all in this together, and nobody's going to escape unscathed from this. It's but I think as a community, it is our role to, especially if we've got a platform and a voice, to be out there and do what you're doing, which is great, giving back and just giving people a little bit of a bit of hope and a smile. You know, having a good old giggle and just know that we've got each other's backs.
Yeah, I think you've always got to have that sense of humor. You know what I mean?
See, even
people mightn't get my sense of humor, but you know, I'm happy.
And you know, and thank God for people like you, Colin Fastnage. Wow, you are some kind of guy, and I'm absolutely overwhelmed that you joined us.
You should tell my wife that.
Say hi to your beautiful wife, by the way. Colin has a gorgeous wife. He's punching. Telling you now.
She's punching. Me.
So I just want to say, just one last comment, which we came up earlier. Nolene is saying, hubby is right this minute making your bread chicken you did
chicken
last night.
bread. Yes, I put the videos. Go to my Instagram, because my whole thing about this cooking lark and TV, that world we're in, we make it all too hard for people. So I'm trying to demystify it and make it fun, and my kids can do it. So go to my Instagram and cook chicken bread, because that's the best recipe out there.
Look, chicken and bread.
It's not just chicken and bread. It's what's in between.
And you'll have to find out more when you go to Colin's Instagram. I don't want to say goodbye to you because I've loved every minute of it. Will you promise me that you will come and talk to us again and let us know how you're doing? And, you know, stay in touch. Let's see your face again, please.
Yeah, I'll be back to plug my new book when I get it, which is in a few weeks. And then I'll be plugging my new show, hopefully. So lots to talk about.
Okay, but don't tell anyone.
Okay? Shush.
Colin, you're a legend of all legends. Thank you so much. Adore you. Did you enjoy it? Did you?
I did. You know, it's quite relaxed, and I hope everyone's all right and stay strong, especially those people in Melbourne. Like, I hope it's pretty bad. I can't, you know, I don't know what to say, mate, because it's terrible down there. But stay strong, and if you want to laugh, just go to my Instagram. You probably.
Thank you, my beautiful Colin. Stay on the line. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Thank you.
Bye. That was the famous / infamous celebrity man who is a chef. See, I didn't say celebrity chef. Celebrity man who is a chef. What a guy. Seriously, I am also very impressed that he didn't tell you some of the stories that I thought he might tell you. We got away with that one. It was clean. It was smooth. Ha ha! Colin Fastnage. Yes. Loved it. Guys, we've come to the end. In fact, we've gone way over, but it was so interesting, wasn't it, talking to Colin? He's got so much to give. He's so positive, so talented, and he's true to himself. And that is something to be said. That is a fact. So, my friends, it's time to say goodbye. Now, don't forget, be prepared, be informed, stay safe, upskill and be upskilled. No, that doesn't make sense. Should we try that again? I'm all giddy because I spoke to Colin. Upskill yourself, all right? And be outstanding and stand out. We've got workshops coming up. We're going to be announcing the dates. We've got a lot of great training for you. Shooter producer, we're going to do a post course. People keep asking me for a post course. That's coming too. I will announce it next week. All right. Thank you to everybody. Get in touch. Bloomtimemedia.com. Bloomtimemedia.com. info@bloomtimemedia.com if you want to email us or send a PM. Look, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Okay. And also we have a YouTube channel, Bloomtime Media. I think we're up to, maybe 7 followers now. Big guns are out, my friends. Anyway, thank you, my beautiful Colin Fastnage. You were awesome. And thank you to Tara, BTM production assistant, our supporters from around the world. Did you see how many messages from around the world? I'll leave you with some. Here we go. There's Alicia. Hi, Chili. She wants chili. Dee says, thank you. We've got Jackie here, who is saying, thank you so much, fun. Hi, Jackie. And Jenny saying, hey, guys, it's a pleasure to serve you. Namaste. Be good, be safe. And thank you to family and friends. Take care of yourselves. Stay in touch with us, please. Let me know how you're going. You never know. That little piece of advice might be the thing that tips you over into happiness. Keep smiling and have a laugh. Thank you for joining us. See you next week, Wednesday, Eastern Standard Time in Australia, and whatever time it might be in your neck of the woods. Check it out.